All right, what is up, 5-9? How's it going? So, today we are going to be talking about the brand new series, Star Wars The Bad Batch. Now, I am here with say hello.
What's up, guys? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's do this.
All right, so as far as we all remember, Order 66 is where the original Clone Wars ends, the ends of episode 3. Well, in this series, it starts off with Obi-Wan finding General Grievous on Utapau. It actually starts out with the Bad Batch on another planet with Depa Billaba. Depa Billaba, for those of you that don't know, she's the brand new Jedi that they brought into the Clone Wars series. She was in episodes 1, 2, and 3, we saw her there. To have her in the animated series, that's actually pretty cool. So we see her in a battle, and during that battle, Order 66 takes place. Squad 99 comes in to help fight the battle, but during that battle, Order 66 is executed. Squad 99 sees the other clone troopers fire upon their Jedi General, and it leaves them wondering what is going on. What is going on? They have no idea. The inhibitor chips in their mind are releasing this, this sensation that basically, hey, here's this order. We have to follow through with it. Order 66, kill the Jedi you're with. And they don't do it because they don't know what's going on. They don't know why the clones are turning against the Jedi. So what do you think about that? How they introduced the beginning aspect of it that way?
Honestly, I was wondering how far into the episode we would get until because we know that the Bad Batch is going to take place straight after the whole entire Order 66. So I was sitting here wondering, it's man, when how far until this episode will we see Order 66 being executed, and then all of a sudden right then and there Order 66 executed. And it was mind-boggling too. And what's even sad in that episode too, it's the Padawan that was with Utapau, you said her name was?
Caleb.
No, the Jedi.
Oh, the Jedi. The Jedi's name was Depa Billaba.
Yeah, Depa Billaba, her Padawan Caleb. It's just so sad because Caleb brought these guys and he's like, oh, these guys are my friends. And then once he sees the other stormtroopers murdering his master, he completely turns on them. And it felt a little saddening because you brought these guys on thinking they'll help you, and then all of a sudden all these other stormtroopers are killing Jedi. Now you're afraid that the ones that you brought on to help you is going to turn their back on you and shoot you, which wasn't fully wrong because Crosshair actually was in between both being himself and executing Order 66. So it was a little weird. Not weird, but it was a little sad again. But it's just, I can't. This show is so good.
It is really good. So afterwards, after the battle, we see all the clone troopers returning back to their home planet Kamino, which is where they're all born and raised and trained to become, the elite soldiers that they are. Now, what was really interesting is how when they got back, you could tell the personality changes from, if you were to watch it side by side, watch the personalities of the clone troopers from the Clone Wars and Bad Batch, you watch it, and they're polar opposites. After Order 66, they're all malicious and enforcing of the law, while in the Clone Wars series, they're just, they have personalities. They have humanity in their hearts, basically. They're the good guys, you can tell in the Clone Wars, and then Order 66 happens, and the personality change is just mind-boggling. They're all in these tight formations. They're all walking through the halls, following orders to the T. It's really interesting to see how they were able to make that for the clones, implement that into the show. And watching and comparing how Squad 99 is still in that state of being like the previous clones from the Clone Wars, how they have that humanity inside of them and that personality, compared to the thousands and thousands, if not millions of clones that have the new Order 66, personality, basically. The new Empire. So we also see later on during that time frame while they're in Kamino, we see the fallout of the Republic as well. We see a screenplay basically, or a hologram, excuse me, of Palpatine giving his speech that the Republic will be now known as the first galactic empire. And it goes on from there. You know, all the orders from Revenge of the Sith are carried out, everything else. We see all that. And it's just really cool how this takes place in between the ending of Episode 3 and the final ending of the Clone Wars. It's really interesting to see that. So what do you think about that? Their whole interaction on Kamino during that time frame when they get there after Order 66.
Yeah, so going off of what you said, obviously it's been a while since I last seen the Clone Wars, but I remember whenever watching Clone Wars, whenever they would go back to Kamino and you would see like the docking bay and everything. If memory serves me right, whenever they were walking, they weren't necessarily walking in tight, straight formations. They were actually walking in groups. Like it was not necessarily disorganized, but it was more free. Like people were going to places they need to, like people would be grouping up and stuff like that. While now after Order 66 was executed, it's just straight lines. No one's out of formation, no one's leaving the formation, nothing. Going off of that, it just shows that what actually happens, because then it shows like now they're all following orders to a T, like you said, and you know they have to do things the right way as opposed to when they were with the Republic. Yes, they were clones. Yes, they had to follow orders, but they had their own free will of doing so. Now with Order 66, they have no free will. It's like they lost it, and all they have to do is just follow orders. So I just like that dynamic of it. It just felt real in a sense, because when in the movies, when we saw Order 66 executed, we would see like all the Jedis we killed, blah, 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 but we never saw what went on at the lab. Like we never saw that. And for the Bad Batch to show that part of the story of what was going on there, it really drives a nail the whole entire order as an aspect, you know?
Yeah. I mean, just seeing the personality changes and seeing how it isn't just one group of clone troopers that we see there. It's clones from all different kinds of battalions. You see ones from the 41st, the 212th, the 501st, the basic Coruscant Guard. You see clone troopers from so many different battalions walking through the hallways of Kamino, and their personalities just being so different is just insane to see. But on a higher note, we also see a brand new character, Omega, which is actually really cool because it turns out that she is actually, similar to the Bad Batch, a defective clone. She is actually a female clone rather than the average normal male clone. So it's really cool that we have a change in pace here. So instead of it being, you know, and it's a young kid. It's not like a full-grown, you know, clone trooper itself. It's literally brand new, you know, probably barely has had any basic training whatsoever. And during her time and stay in Kamino, she is a medical assistant to the main doctress of the Kaminoans. So it's actually really neat that we get to see a brand new character team up with Squad 99. What do you think of Omega overall is as a character during the introduction of her?
Honestly, I thought she was just gonna be like a side character, but I like her. You know, Omega is different. She reminds me of the go lucky go happy kid type deal where she doesn't necessarily, like, she knows what's going on, but she's trying to keep the facade from anyone else finding out, because if anyone from, you know, the Empire were to know that Omega is not only just a clone, but she's cognizant of what's going on, then they'll obviously rewrite her memory and make her follow the Empire. So she knows what's going on. She understands everything, and she's trying to be secretive about it. That's why when the Bad Batch actually came in, she immediately flocked to them. So that way, not only do they cause attention to themselves, but they can cause so much attention that someone who doesn't cause attention to themselves can be blended in and be forgotten. And when the head doctress and the head director of the clones was talking to the general, they obviously, like, they start a fight, and then the general wants to see what the Bad Batch can do. And when the general asked about the Bad Batch, they said that they were 5 clones, and obviously later on we find out that Echo isn't one of those 5 clones, but Omega is, and they wanted to try to keep that away from the general because they know that the general will not only take the Bad Batch, but they will also take Omega away from them, because they know that yes, they're working for the Empire, but they know that the Empire is wrong, and they want to try to right the wrongs of the clones and whatnot. They want to try to salvage what they can, because obviously all their work was for the clones, like, and creating the clones, but they want to try to do something better in a sense.
So what really intrigued me about part of the scenes, and it leads me to wonder, is like somewhat towards the end of the episode, we're just kind of going through it really quickly here, but we see, what I really like is how we see the beginning of the rebellion. Basically, we see innocent civilians, refugees from different planets in this one camp that Squad 99 is sent to by Admiral Tarkin, who at the time wasn't the Grand Moff, but is just basically an admiral. And we all know, all the Star Wars fans, that go into the lore as deep as myself, know that Tarkin wasn't really a fan of the clone troopers. He really didn't like them. And Palpatine and Tarkin basically were like, we gotta stop this, the clones, we're gonna end the production of them, basically. So that's why he's there on Kamino. He's there to review, like, okay, what clones are the elite, what ones are useless. He hears about Squad 99, he wants to test their loyalty, so he sends them to this planet. I forget the name of the planet, I can't remember it, but they meet a character there called Sol Guerrera, which was basically trained by Captain Rex, and I believe it was either Anakin or Obi-Wan is what was mentioned. Obi-Wan?
Yeah, he was trained, under Captain Rex and Obi-Wan.
Oh, so this guy had the high ground from the start then, if he's trained by those
pretty
two.
much.
So Sol Guerrero, we only see him basically for a split minute of the series. We don't really see a lot of him, but basically he's telling Squad 99 to open their eyes, see the reality of what's going on. There's no more Republic, there's no more Separatists, the war isn't over, basically. The new war is that the Empire is trying to take over the galaxy with this massive force of clones, and the massive force that is going to be produced that we see of stormtroopers and later on in the original trilogy. And so we see him for only a couple of minutes, and then him and his refugees and, soldiers basically are like just gonna wander off into this forest planet at nighttime and leave Squad 99 there behind, to basically give them time to, just wake up. Wake up, smell the roses, get with it, get with the program, Meanwhile, Crosshair and Hunter aren't seeing eye to eye at all. They're not seeing eye to eye. Crosshair and Hunter are literally at each other's throats at this point in time, because during Order 66, Hunter chases down the Padawan who's running away when his Jedi Master is getting, shot by the clones. Crosshair goes after Hunter, follows him, and basically they both go after it together. Well, Crosshair is more by the books and wants to follow the mission, while Hunter follows his conscience and what he believes is right, which is why he's the leader of Force 99. Well, that gets in the way, because when it comes to the Empire versus the Republic was more on the lines of what they believed was right. They followed the Jedi followed their consciousness, their conscience, and it's night and day, because later on we see a dark turn. We see Tarkin have clones capture Squad 99, and they take Crosshair, bring him to a lab, and they enhance the inhibitor chip inside of it to make him to make the orders of Order 66 and other, command roles inside of there to be more enforced, because they're alterings in their DNA, basically prevented them from having this strict rule and strict obedience to the inhibitor chip. So him enhancing it actually caused Crosshair to change to being an Empire soldier rather than being part of Squad 99 now. So now we're seeing Squad 99 and Omega team up together and have to flee Kamino from Crosshair and the Empire. And it's actually really cool seeing that because it leads up to an important question. And I'll leave that up to you guys in the comments as well for you to answer, because let me know what you think after watching this. We see Omega shoot the rifle from Crosshair's rifle. We literally see Omega shoot Crosshair's rifle with a simple DC blaster. And that's really a really low chance considering how far away that she was from him. It didn't have a scope on it, you know, and Crosshair's like Deadeye Sam over here, and Omega, we just heard about her, but yet she was able to make Crosshair turn and run and get to cover. Prevented him from attacking, get to cover. So the question I have is she going to be the new Crosshair? And Crosshair is going to be the new main protagonist of the series. So what do you think about that?
So going back off on what you said, when obviously Crosshair, when they got captured, Omega actually went up to Crosshair and she said that I understand that you're angry. So I feel like not only does Omega have like all these like powers of the clones and like is able to do things that they can do, I feel like she can do much more, and she can sense the emotions of the clowns. When Hunter and Crosshair were fighting and then they go off to the side, she actually goes up to Crosshair and says, I know that you're angry. I sense that you're angry, which leads me to believe that there's much more to Omega than we already know at this point. And then going back to Crosshair turning to the Empire, I feel like it was said that the Bad Batch, their inhibitor chips were all funky. The only person that didn't have a funky chip was Crosshair, and Tarkin knew that because Crosshair told the director that Rex didn't execute the Padawan. So Tarkin knew that, oh, we can salvage this clone, but the other clones, he knows that there possibly wouldn't have been a way to reconstruct that chip, that inhibitor chip, like the other Bad Batch. So it leads me to believe that Tarkin, who he really wanted was Crosshair, and then for the other ones, he's probably just going to scrap them away because again, he doesn't care for clones unless they're necessary or unless they're useful. And Crosshair is a very, very useful clone. It's like, not to get me wrong, like all of the Bad Batch are, like they're very, very useful, but being able to use one of the clones that is considered the highest of the highs, and then getting rid of all of them just to make that one single clone the best that there is something that he had in mind. So Crosshair turning, I always had a feeling it was going to turn. I either thought Crosshair would end up being free from that and then, you know, joining the Bad Batch, but you know, the latter happened. His inhibitor chip got reconstructed and he joined the Empire. So
yeah, I thought
it's just something else, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I just halfway through the episode, you know, even at the start of the episode, which keep in mind was like it's an hour and 14 minutes long for one episode. That's crazy. Not even The Mandalorian nor any of the new Marvel series episodes were really that, you know, long, really. They're usually like 40 to 50 minutes. So seeing it being this long amount of time, that's actually really cool. But, you know, all throughout the movie, we just see the headbutting between Crosshair and Hunter. And, you know, you have that feeling from the beginning that, okay, you know, one's gonna betray the other. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna go wrong. Something's coming. And, you know, something's not right. So what will be interesting for next week's episode, though, is that they mention Captain Rex. They don't officially mention him, but when they mention the planet J19 and that they quote-unquote know a friend of theirs that they can go to be with, to help them try and get away and stay away from the Empire, it leads to Captain Rex, because the only ones that we really saw in the Clone Wars that had their inhibitor chips removed, in particular that stood out, was Fives, Echo, and Captain Rex. Wolf, if you want to get into like the Rebels and to the expanded universe, then yeah, we have Commander Wolf and we have Commander Gregor as well, but we're not going to get into that. So we'll probably see Captain Rex in the next episode. So that'll be really cool to see if they bring him back. So we saw in the trailer that he will be in the show. So hopefully we'll be able to see Captain Rex in the next episode, and we'll be able to see like his response to this. Maybe he'll give an update of what's going on. Maybe we'll see. Do you think we'll actually see a appearance of Ahsoka Tano again? Do you think we'll see an appearance of her?
It is a high possibility, because Ahsoka played a very, very big role in the Clone Wars series. So I feel like it'd be a waste if you wouldn't. And I also feel like it would be a waste if we don't get a little bit of knowledge of what Obi-Wan is doing during all of this as well.
Yeah, because the last part we see after episode 3 is him bringing, Luke to his new family, and, that's it. So that would be actually really neat if Rex and Obi-Wan stayed in contact with one another during this time, and we'll hear more information or maybe an update, and we'll see like what's going on with Obi-Wan at some points in some time, like Bad Batch will be able to reach out to him for advice on certain things. Like that'd actually be really cool, to be honest, if we'll see that. The possibility of that happening, though, I'm not sure how plausible or possible it will be, but that'd be really neat. But otherwise, hopefully we'll see Captain Rex next week on next week's episode, which I hope you all enjoyed. So anyway, guys, let us know down the description, the comment section below, what you thought of the series, what you thought of the first episode, what you think of the Clone Wars. How do you think the Clone Wars did compared to the first episode of Bad Batch? Yes, this is the first episode, but what are your expectations? What do you think is going to happen? Let us know down in the comment section below. Do you have any last final words you want to say to everyone?
Yeah, so I just want to make a real quick thing. Guys, in the comments, don't butcher us too much for if we got a little bit things wrong here or there. It is late at night, and we had to jump on this, so just letting you know, again, we're very, very tired. So again, we do apologize if we got anything wrong, but just so you know, we're very much excited to cover this, and we're definitely going to be giving you guys more details about this as time goes on. But we appreciate everything, and we always hope that you guys have an amazing day, and we really do hope to hear you guys in the comments talking about how much you enjoy this and how much you can't wait for the next one.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and as always, may the Force be with you all.
Laters.